Hear you. So, what I've got here is something that I've stacked from a SHTF perspective. So, I want to show this today and basically put the question out there of how do you perceive a SHTF situation? How do you see it playing out, basically? The SHTF, it's an acronym that everybody uses, and I think it's one of those acronyms where everybody says it if they do say it, but everybody perceives it in a different way. So I wanted to basically put across how I see a SHTF situation playing out and basically find out what you guys see. I know it's going to change and vary from country to country, region to region, area to area, but I think it's interesting because I've heard a lot of people basically mention it, including preppers, but this is mainly aimed towards a precious metal stacker. And especially if you've stacked in a sense, or a portion of your stack has been dedicated towards a SHTF situation, it'd be interesting to find out how you perceive a SHTF situation playing out, basically. So I'll just give a couple examples of what I've purchased and why I've purchased them and how I see a SHTF situation playing out. Now, I'm not one that subscribes to the whole Mad Max, Walking Dead extreme situation where you've got no law enforcement and basically it's every man for himself. Basically it's the Wild West reloaded. I don't personally see that happening, and to make this video as short as possible, I just say the elites or those in control have worked real hard to create this mainframe and matrix that we live in, basically, and they're not about to give up that power or throw it away, basically, because of their greed, and that would be the fiat crashing. So, and I personally don't feel like the people in general, they don't have the mindset to go ape shit and WWF on those in charge and the hierarchy. I feel people's mindset is more selfish-ish and self-centered. So you'll get a, I've lost mine, but what are you going to do to repair it or make this pain go away? Or they'll want a remedy sooner than later, basically. They will be in pain, but they'll want those in control and in charge to make the pain go away. That's the general masses, I believe, the mentality and the attitude is going to be. And I've came to that conclusion just from looking at all of the scenarios that are out there, from Greece to Venezuela to Argentina, basically. So that's how I perceive it, and I've seen it. So I don't see an absolute total loss of control and people going ape shit. But, of course, you're going to get your anarchists and extremists that will take advantage of the situation, basically. When you're getting any riots or upheaval or unevenness, you're going to have those that thrive on it and have their own reasons for leading and rallying and going apeshit. But I also feel those in charge, especially people in law enforcement or army, I mean, they don't do it just for the money, even though it's the main drive. They do it for, every law enforcement officer has their reasons for why they do it. So I don't believe when it's been put out there that well, they can't get paid, they're just dropping their platoons and guns and going home, basically. Absolutely not. And I mean, that's been shown and proven, basically. So I think that's a good thing as well, because to get absolute chaos is just, it's mindless chaos. This leads to very bad things, basically. So it's not orchestrated and organized, and I don't think the people are mentally mature enough to be able to remove those from power and do it properly and basically set something new up in place. So I cannot and don't envision or see that happening whatsoever, but it'll be interesting if you do, basically, to explain why and see how. So with the coins in place, I've stacked basically knowing that these are good for barter. So when these were picked up, that was in mind, basically. I mean, if anybody was going to want to do any type of trade or commerce, I mean, you're going to need something to barter with, basically, and gold and silver, obviously many things put out there, service for service and so forth. So regarding, I mean, you got the food life stocks and shelves and replenishing stocks and stuff like that. Taking another example, looking at the Black Friday sales and looking at how ape shit people go, literally, and just looking at that, I could only imagine what it would be like if we had a situation where shelves weren't being replaced and replenished, basically, you'd have ape shit or Black Friday sales times 100. So knowing and understanding that, I've also purchased food. I don't have the luxury of canning and preparing my own food, so I, for my SHTF scenario, purchased freeze-dried stuff. So, and water filtration, a lifesaver jerry can as well. So that's something that I prepped for, just with the intention of knowing that should something happen or any type of upheaval start, personally, I'm bunkering in. So I'm locking myself down from where I'm at, whether it be in the populated, heavily dense area or in the suburbs, and me and my family are going to take it from there. So I want everything that I'm going to need at arm's length, or know it's safe, basically, not with others queuing up at some queue, whether it be a safety deposit queue or a storage queue or whatever. I've got everything I need at arm's length, so I'm not in any type of rat race going to get mine when there may be some type of upheaval outside. Whether it'll be controlled or not, it's still going to be happening. I just don't want to be a part of it. I've got no intentions of riding out into the sunset and chilling out with the squirrels and eating acorns in the forest. I'm bunkering in and staying down. I believe whatever happens, it's going to be, in terms of severity, it's going to be time related. So bad is going to be anything from a week to 2 weeks. Very bad can be 3 weeks to 4 weeks to 6 weeks. Severe, you're talking months. That's as serious as I personally see a SHTF scenario going down, basically. And it's all going to be fear and stock market related. So you're going to have your crashes, whether it be housing, stock market, fear, and then basically how severe it gets in terms of them coming back in and getting everything under control. It's going to be a time frame from there, basically. I mean, if you've got the people fed, whether it be rations that they set up via stadiums and people have to queue for 5 hours, it'll be a lot easier for them to introduce whatever they're going to introduce and basically get the people back under control. So those are the things I've personally stocked, and that's as bad as I personally see a SHTF scenario going down. But it'll be interesting to find out if your views are different, more extreme. Why? Of course, not taking national disasters into account. What have you prepped for a SHTF situation, basically, from a precious metal perspective, and what part of your stack was influenced from a SHTF scenario? So once again, it's an acronym that's put out there, and I just want to know how you perceive it playing out, if it does play out, if you do acknowledge it whatsoever. So hate or love it, guys. Let me know what you think. Here's all my fractional silver anyway. You got high premium fractionals, a lot more polished, cleaner coins, and low premium, I suppose. So altogether, that's 3 kgs in silver content. So I mean, if you haven't subscribed, once again, it'd be greatly appreciated if you do, and I'll catch you guys on the rebound.